As the US-China trade war continues, Chinese Communist Party leader Xi Jinping recently visited Vietnam, Cambodia, and Malaysia, hoping to launch a so-called charm offensive to win over these countries to fight jointly against the US. However, obviously, it didn't work. The CCP won't be willing to change its wolf warrior style, and China's foreign trade industry is suffering. Now there are misery stories widespread on this country's social media. The tariff has reached 245%. It's really annoying. Today, all our goods are pulled back from customs. You see, there's no end in sight. No end in sight. Do you see it? Recently, many of our colleagues who are engaged in foreign trade have basically taken a long break. So, it's difficult. We don't want to take off. We want to quickly liquidate the goods in the warehouse and the goods we have pulled back at a price, regardless of cost. Just transfer to domestic sales and sell them directly. They all go to the United States. This is the order before the tariff is added. Are there any new orders coming in after the tariff increase? None. When it reached 125%, all the clients said they would stop placing the orders. I didn't sleep well in the past few days. Many factories' foreign orders have almost all been cancelled, so they have to shut down. This is the situation now. Hundreds of machines have stopped working. There are no orders. All of them have stopped working. Hundreds of machines. The factory is going to close down. What should we do? It's not May yet, but now the base paper mills, rubber dipping mills, and Pingyang County factories are all planning to suspend operations. Many base paper mills, as well as our rubber dipping mills and base material mills, are now making losses. The inventories of base paper mills are decreasing again and again. If there is a large-scale shutdown, many factories will stop working and will have no raw materials. Look, so many of the textile industries that target the US market have stopped. Trump. The sky is falling, fellas. It's said that after May Day, most of the factories will have a long holiday. Is this news reliable? Is there anyone who knows about it who can tell me? It seems that many senior employees have been interviewed by the person in charge and told that they will be laid off at the end of this month. This year, every factory is feeling annoyed. Does your factory have any orders this year? This year, factories don't hire, and they have scheduled far more breaks than in previous years. Whether it's true or not, we'll see each other on May Day. Those working in foreign trade feel like the sky is falling now. Employees are forced to take off, so the people affected by the trade war are our grassroots. Judging from the above situation, this tariff war has hit China's manufacturing and foreign trade industries very hard. Many factory owners have to pull back goods and have already been shipped, and it's common for factories to have excess inventory. To reduce the loss as much as possible, these owners even sell at a loss and cash out at astonishingly low prices. Today, I'm collecting men's clothing in Xixi City, Fujian Province. See? This large warehouse was previously mainly used for export and foreign trade. But this year, all the goods have been packaged because of tariffs. You see, all the t-shirts like these are in stock in the warehouse this year. Today, the boss said he reckoned there would be more than 1 million pieces of inventory to deal with. You can come here to pick up some goods, like Playboy and Nike brands. Look at these samples. If you buy them here, they are only about $2 each. These are all good products. There are also several thousand down jackets here. Anyway, all the goods in this warehouse, everyone can take them away today, regardless of cost. Families who want down jackets out of season can now get them for only about $2. We also have jeans, and the price is only about $2. This row all needs to be liquidated. The entire warehouse is too overloaded. Empty all warehouses. The CCP did not actively seek negotiations with the US government like other countries, but continued to come up with dirty tricks to drag some countries into the game. Xi Jinping recently visited Vietnam, Malaysia, and Cambodia, hoping to bring them together to fight against the US. The US immediately retaliated. On April 21st, the U.S. Department of Commerce called for anti-dumping duty rates and anti-subsidy duty rates from 34.4% up to 3,521% on solar panels and modules imported from 4 Southeast Asian countries. For example, the Chinese company Jinko Solar faces a 245% tariff on exports from Vietnam to the U.S. and a 41.56% tariff on exports from Malaysia to the U.S. The Thai plant of the Chinese company China Solar faces a 375.19% tariff. Since most Cambodian companies did not cooperate with the U.S. investigation, the rate is extremely high. The combined rates of many Chinese companies including Hao Nen Solar, Solar Long, and Gentech Photovoltaic are as high as 3,521.14%. The tariffs for other Chinese companies are generally around 651.85%. According to an announcement from the U.S. Department of Commerce, although these solar products are produced in Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam, most of them are produced in factories owned and operated by Chinese companies. Using the so-called light processing to change the export location to circumvent the appropriate tariff is called illicit transshipment, or origin washing. The U.S. introduced this measure to prevent Chinese companies from origin washing their products through Southeast Asia, evading U.S. tariffs on Chinese-made solar products. This is also an important step for the U.S. government to combat unfair trade practices. In this regard, Yang Jai-hao, an industry analyst at the Taiwan Institute of Economic Research, told overseas Chinese media, "The United States is trying to further block China's strategy of laundering the origin of its products, and also to support its domestic solar energy industry." Recently, the duty rates for solar energy in 4 Southeast Asian countries were officially announced. Some local large manufacturers or manufacturers that were previously investigated and were less cooperative will face very high tariffs. South Korea responded positively to the U.S. On April 21st, the Korean Customs Service stated that the phenomenon of Chinese products including mattresses, battery materials, and monitor parts disguised as Korean products and then transshipped to the U.S. is increasing. In the first quarter of 2025 alone, approximately 20.81 million worth of imported goods disguised as Korean products were seized, of which 97% were shipped to the U.S. South Korea stated that it will respond to the U.S. tariff policy and crack down on the CCP's origin laundering behavior. Tang Jingyuan, a commentator living in the U.S., said, South Korea's total exports to the U.S. last year were about $130 billion US dollars. If this incident affects South Korea's credibility, the U.S. holds to reduce the tariffs by even 1% in trade negotiations with South Korea. South Korea will have to pay an additional tariff of about $1 billion US dollars. If South Korea is identified as an unreliable partner by the U.S. for helping the CCP engage in this kind of transshipment, no amount of money can make up for it. It's just immeasurable. So South Korea's crackdown on origin washing may become a trend. For many Southeast Asian countries, the pressure they face is actually quite great. Under the impact of the tariff war, factories in coastal cities and manufacturing hubs including Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen have closed down one after another. Migrant workers cannot find jobs and have to return to their hometowns. Let me tell you a very true story. We are in a 5th-tier city and my store is recruiting. What kind of phenomenon occurred? There are so many people applying for the job. They have one thing in common. Basically, they are all returning home from other places. I learned about their previous job situations and found out that either their wages were not paid, or they were laid off, or the factory was closed. Basically, most of them returned home after leaving the factory, and they are all young, between 22 and 26 years old. For ordinary people, it's very difficult to find a job as companies are laying off employees and closing down. I am 38 years old, born in 1987 in Shenyang, the Rabbit Zodiac. I am currently doing equipment operation and maintenance. After deducting insurance, my monthly salary is $410. I have a lovely baby who is 16 months old. The little guy just learned to walk and is toddling. My wife is a full-time babysitter at home. We still have a mortgage for our condo. The condo is not big and the monthly payment is $274. I have been doing this job for 3 years. Since I found this job across industries and it was not easy to find, I cherished it very much. But now that I have a baby, the expenses are really high, and I can no longer continue to work this way. We are spending the savings every month, and I can't hold on for much longer. So I started looking for a job after the Chinese New Year, but I haven't found one yet. I send out resumes every day, but it's useless. Most of them are either unread or read but not responded to. The man said that he finally got a job interview opportunity. The interviewer was a 25-year-old girl who looked at him with contempt, as if to ask why he was still looking for a job at such an old age. The man said that he had no choice but to go for the interview in order to make a living, but in the end he was not accepted. This is an authentic portrayal of many people in the workplace. On the one hand, all industries in China are declining, while on the other hand, the CCP continues to fight a tariff war with the US, regardless of the people's difficulties. As China's economy continues to deteriorate, many people cannot afford to live, and some people can only look for food in garbage bins. A 60-year-old man went to Guilin City, Guangxi Province to look for a job but failed. He was so hungry that he sat on the ground and couldn't speak. Are you hungry? Have you not eaten for several days? Don't eat in a hurry, take your time. I don't have any serious problems. Is there anything serious? I've been hungry for too long. So you haven't eaten anything yet? Who recognizes this uncle? He said he was too hungry to walk in the early morning, so I gave him a steamed bun. If anyone recognizes him, come and take him away. He slept on the roadside east of Shangyangpo in the early morning and was too tired to walk. I gave him a steamed bun. Did you have lunch? Haven't eaten for a few days. Haven't eaten for 4 days. Yeah. Where are you from? How come you're hungry to this extent? Why haven't you eaten for 4 days? A man rummages through a trash bin late at night to find food. For Chinese people, enduring hardships to support a family has become a very common phenomenon. However, some people who go abroad have different experiences. A man who worked in a Japanese factory shared the following. My 3 years in Japan are almost over, and I want to continue for another 5 years. Many friends ask me why I wouldn't choose to return to China for development after making money, because we can't go back to our lives. In Japan, you can feel at ease being an ordinary person. Why do I say so? Because in this place, whether you are a city dweller, a rural dweller, or a foreigner like us who comes out to work, your pension, medical care, education, and even the salary you earn are basically the same. There is no difference. Everyone is treated equally. Moreover, you can find any job here to support your family. No matter what industry you're in or whatever your identity is, no one will discriminate against you, and no one will disrespect the fruits of your labor. As long as you work more than 8 hours here, you will be calculated as 1.25 times the overtime. There will be no late payments or unpaid issues, because those are illegal in this place. The experience of this Chinese man working in Japan may help the suffering ones to realize who is actually hurting the Chinese people. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.